Yo guys, we're gonna look at multiple UV sets. Just a really quick video. Well, hopefully quick. Let's see how it goes. So some people are asking about like what are the benefits of using multiple UVs. So I'm just gonna show some stuff here. So we've got this asset with two UV sets, and say we want to add like a dripping texture up here, but we don't want to do it through a decal for whatever reason. You can just map that inside of another UV set and then have your Unreal shader look at that and map according to that UV set. So I'll just get this through here and see if we can't get this working. So I've got this mesh, right? Got a shader set up. That's really basic. It's just a texture coordinate, tiling this tileable stone tile 5 times. And I've just got a albedo, roughness, and normal. And then the unique normal that was baked for this asset is being blended together and piped through into the normal. Got our roughness and our base. So what we want to do is we want to get, where's it at? We want to get this texture embedded into the shader. So, and I've already kind of built it up here. So, and this is one way to do it. It's not necessarily the best way, and it has its drawbacks, but it'll work. So what we're going to do is this color and this color, these two albedos, we're going to blend between the two, or lerp between the two, using the alpha of this texture that we were looking at in Photoshop. Give me a sec here. Save that. Okay, so plug this into the base color, and when you look after it does this, oh right, because I changed the compression here, I'll just drag it back in, replug it in, like that. Okay, so you can see we got it working. We save it, you'll see it update on this, and you can see the mask is kind of all messed up. It's because it's looking at the UV set. If you don't plug a UV set in, it'll look at the very first one, which would be UV 0. So what we want to do is tell it to look at another UV set. So and what you can do is, we'll go in here, we'll make a UV set, UV. So we got a 0 and a 1, so we'll add a 2. And then we will load an image, and we'll load that dirty texture. And you can see everything is white right now because there's no UVs in UV set 2. It's kind of a Modo specific thing, but let's get this working. So at least in Modo, you can select this polygroup or UV island. You can copy it, and then you go here and paste. You can see now you're getting the getting a representation of where the grime dirtiness would be. Maybe you want to scale this up, because all this UV set is doing is looking at this mask, right? So maybe you can even skew things if you wanted to. Maybe you want to get this looking like that. The other things to keep in mind too is where it ends, that's your mask will have a hard edge there, so you'll have to have some pretty good solutions for either making the edge of that in the texture in Photoshop soft, or having it go away before it happens to meet the UV edge. Maybe the top needs to match the color, I don't know. There's a few ways you can approach that. So let's say we got this working. So we've got our UV set 0, 1, and 2, and then 2 is we're using that for this mask. So let's go ahead and export these out. We'll go back here, and let's navigate to that piece and re-import it. Give it a second here. Takes a minute because I think it's generating LODs and all that stuff. Okay, so if you open the asset, like, pay no attention to those materials. So when you look at this asset, and you go up here, so you can see now that there's a UV 0, 1, and 2. So it has successfully come in, and if you need to, you can toggle the display of the UVs. Wow, that looks bad. Let's see if that's going to be an issue. It's probably because we didn't map the other UVs. Let's actually do that really quickly. So if we go in here, go here, and then we'll just invert that and just map that really quickly. And then we'll just shrink them down and put them. So this is another thing you'll want to do, is wherever you don't want the masks, you just take those UVs and you shrink them down and put them in the black space inside of the texture. That way they're not being mapped, right? So I guess if you wanted to, while we're here, we could grab this one as well. I'm just going to do a projection on this. Project from view. There we go. Move this out of the way. Hide these pieces so I can isolate these ones. These ones are just because of the madness of how we're doing this. So we'll shrink those down, put that in that little space. Then we'll unhide, and we'll get this piece into position as well. Like maybe you want to use the other UV set here, or the other part of the texture set. So let's say that's what we want. Okay. So let's close this. Close our UVs. Let's export these. Go in here, we'll re-import this again real quick. If you have any questions about this stuff, don't hesitate to drop it in the comments below. Always takes a little bit of time. Okay, so now that we've got that, we know that this needs to be on UV2. So if you look at the you can see the grime's still not matching. So let's go ahead and right click and we'll type in texture coordinate. Click there, plug that in here, and then we'll tell it to look at 2. And then we'll save that. There we go. Now it's lined up on the material. The nice thing about this too is if you're doing multi-material blending, you can have this all happening in the stone, but then have your moss material that's blending with another mask go on top of this. So it becomes pretty powerful. The other thing you can do is if you move these down, let's just do this because it'll be cool. Get a color, and then we want to lerp. And we'll lerp between this and this color. And we'll use the same alpha, and then we'll bring this into the roughness. You can see where that stuff is. It's wet. Let's put this at like 0.4. So if you save that, now you're getting that mask has got a little bit of wetness to it. And you can do that for everything. You can, and yeah, it's awesome. Anywho, hopefully that answers some of the questions about that type of stuff. Anyways, cool. I'll check you guys later.